Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for spoiler alert. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to spoiling things. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media up there and all the links to my pages, like this YouTube channel page, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves, those of you who still have Facebook out there. So, what do you guys want to talk about, huh? What do you want to spoil? What do you want to do, huh? What do you want to talk about? I should say. You want to talk about that Kate that was on Netflix that just came out on Friday? Do you want me to spoil that? Because I watched that. And Batman the Long Halloween, I haven't watched it yet. Works. But you guys can talk. Yeah, if you want to talk about it, that's cool. Because you're watching Kate tonight. It's honestly, I was spot on. So back a couple of Saturday morning blast-offs ago, I want to say it was like 2 months ago when the trailer first came out, I said exactly who was the person who basically poisoned her. And I knew exactly who it was just from watching the trailer. And it's like, yeah, it was no surprise. Yeah, it was really no surprise. But what was surprising was the fucking action scenes. I mean, the action sequences are brutal and actually just awesome. I mean, I'm gonna watch it again at some point just because the action was like way the hell out there. The storyline was it was there. You knew exactly what was gonna happen. I mean, but the action is what set this one apart. I'm talking like John Wick level action, maybe even better than John Wick. I just said that. Yes, I know. But there's one point where she's stabbing this guy. I mean, just she's stabbing one guy, and it's like just stabbing the shit out of him while other guys are coming towards her, and she's still stabbing them as they're grabbing her around the throat. And I was like, "Fuck," you know. Uh, that's dude. I mean, when I actually step back and go, "Holy fuck!" for an action sequence, it means it's a good action sequence. Yeah. Normally they do play, but they usually play by the numbers when they're doing action movies, that kind of stuff. You see the same kind of scenes over and over again, and usually you get the sloppy, either the sloppy effect when they don't have a really good stunt coordinator, or you have a director who wants to put you in the action kind of bullshit, which means you never get to see any of this stuff. This was actually good, and also had camera movements that, like, when you have someone getting flipped, the entire camera flips on the scene too. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen that before. That was actually kind of cool. And it actually works. You get to still see the scene, but it kind of makes your stomach lurch a little bit too as it's happening. So Mark says, well, Batman the Long Halloween is really good. It's one of the best DC animated movies. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I dig their animated movies. Their animated movies are actually really good. Still the best one to date for me is the Dark Knight Returns, the two-parter that they did with Peter Weller voicing Batman. That one's actually one of my favorites. So I'm eventually going to see it. I just, I haven't gotten around to it as of yet. I did rewatch Iron Giant though last night. And it's been a while since I've actually watched that, and it still holds up really fucking well. I mean, just really, really well. I'm gonna say it's Brad Bird's best movie that he's ever done, and yes, that includes The Incredibles. So I mean, yeah. Mork says it's more in the detective part of Batman origin of Two-Face. Huh. Okay. Lots of subverting expectations. Interesting. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but and whoever does the Joker sounds a lot like him. Yeah, there's a guy out there now who's been doing the Joker as of late, and he's patterned it after Mark Hamill's voice and sounds exactly like Mark Hamill when he does the voice. He does it also for Injustice, if I'm not mistaken. Because at first I thought it was Mark Hamill, then I was listening to it a little bit better on the in the trailer for Injustice, and I was like, "Is that Mark Hamill?" And I'm like, "I thought he had actually retired the Joker." And I'm like, "No, it's not Mark. Yeah, that's definitely not Mark." Mark's voice has gotten deeper and gravelier now, so he doesn't. I don't think he can hit the Joker notes anymore the way he. And I think that's the reason why he retired it. Because I think it actually hurts his throat when he does it. I can imagine that it does. Yeah. That's okay, Mark. You can spoil it. That's what we're here for. It's a spoiler thing. So I mean, unless the Joker turns out to be Bruce Wayne's father, I mean, I don't think there's much more you can spoil. I read the comic like a long time ago. I think I even read the book that Greg Rucka did. It was it Greg Rucka who did the book? I can't remember who did the book now, but I want to say I read the paperback version of the book. There was actually a novelization of The Long Halloween. It's been done a couple different ways. So, yeah. So I'm okay if you spoil it. That's what we're here for. Trying to think of anything else. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows, the new season. The last episode is kind of flat. The whole thing with Laszlo's car, that had been confiscated by the Vampire Council. Although I am finding it funny that Guillermo killing the entire Vampire Council and pretty much every other vampire in the tri-state area there makes them be the Vampire Council and just as default, which is pretty fucking funny. And then them trying to put together, they're basically completely fucking up the whole Vampire Council. And then adding Christian Shaw to this whole thing as well. And I love that on at least FX on at Hulu, is it FX on Hulu? I think it is FX on Hulu that this is showing on. They allow them to swear. So Christian Shaw going, fuck, it's funny. Mork says Gordon is captain, not commissioner. Catwoman is the daughter of one of those mob bosses who Harvey Dent is trying to bring down. The whole thing is Dent's fall into darkness and everything ties down. Okay. Interesting. While a killer named Holiday kills certain people related to another mob boss, and the Joker is jealous because Holiday is competition. All right. Yeah, I think I've seen that storyline before. It's not a new storyline, so they probably incorporate. I can't remember where it's from, but I remember seeing it someplace. Yeah. As long as they don't call him Jack Napier. I mean, fuck that. The Joker is nameless. You never, ever, ever name the Joker. He's supposed to be nameless. He's not supposed to have an identity. He exists only because Batman exists. That's the whole thing of it. Yeah, none of this whole, oh, you made me by throwing me in, whatever. Anyway, I digress. Come on, Morks isn't the only person here. Who else is out there? Who else wants to spoil stuff? What else are you guys watching out there? The fights are cool. My favorite is the one with Scarecrow. Okay. You've hijacked my chat. No, you haven't. You're the only person that's talking in the chat. That's all. There's 3 people here, supposedly. I can never really tell with Google. It's sometimes it says there's 0 people here and there's actually a couple people in the chat. And yeah. But it says there's 3 people here, but you're the only one that's talking. I get lurkers. I get quite a few lurkers that just like to listen or or watch or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the whole background stuff. Oh, by the way, there is a new edition right there. It's kind of hard to tell. So, hey, Joe. Is it 11 p.m. tonight? Okay, on the Hulu feed. Then I guess I will be covering that tomorrow. Then. So, I'm sorry you saw Raised by Wolves. What did you think? Because I mean, that last episode just evolved into a whole shit show. And sorry about the color change or whatever is going on with my camera. My camera is doing some weird ass white balancing shit again. Could be because the sun's coming in, and so how the earth tilts on its axis and that kind of shit. So you get different sunlight. So now I'm getting sunlight coming in and striking me right about there. Is that it? No, there we go. That's good that Why the Last Man is dropping tonight at 11, because then I can actually watch it and do it on Monday. So I have jury duty tomorrow, which sucks balls because this week is completely a busy week. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of stuck at home on Monday tomorrow to wait until I get called in or not get called in, one of the two. And we'll see what happens there. Mark says, yeah, I saw the last episode and needed to see an explanation video to understand what happened. I think if they had less filler and used that time to explain a bit what was going on. Yeah, that final episode made no fucking sense. I think actually, by the time I was reviewing it, I had had enough of the entire series and was just making fun of that shit the entire time. So I honestly didn't care what was going on. I don't think I'm fairly sure I'm not covering the second season. It depends on what else is on at the time. If there's not a lot of stuff on, then maybe I might cover it for shits and giggles. But yeah. It's just really horribly written. Horribly written. It's made by a fanboy who's he's basically a fan of Scott's work on Prometheus of all things. And this is the result of this, even though Ridley Scott directed the first couple episodes. And yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a shit show, that whole thing. Hey, Raymond. We're talking about Raised by Wolves. Morks just finally saw it, so just how much of a shit show it really is. That's all. But pretty much there's anything you want to talk about. We talked about Kate earlier and how the action is just really fucking good. And the killer is just completely obvious. I mean, it's obvious from the trailers. So, what else? Next week, not this coming week, but next week is going to be Doom Patrol season 3, and I'm actually really quite jazzed about that. I want to see what's going to happen with it. Yeah. Just to wash that fucking bad taste of Titans out of my mouth. Titans just, yeah, pissed me off on the last. So the reason why I canceled Titans, I'm sitting there, I'm watching this week's episode that came out. And yes, they get together briefly as a team in order to fight, but there is no reason why Scarecrow is doing what he's doing. At least there's nothing obvious about it. As I said, season 1, you had Trigon wants to take over the Earth. We know this. That is what that's pretty much what the whole gist of the first season is. Okay, great. Second season, Deathstroke wants to destroy the Titans for forming back together again, because he killed his son Jericho, but blames Titans for it. Okay, we've got motivation for it. We know what's going on there for season 2. Season 3, Scarecrow wants to reform Gotham by tearing it down first and then mind controlling the citizens. We don't really know exactly what his plan is because it's just kind of wishy-washy, but he needs Jason in order to do it, or maybe he doesn't need Jason in order to do it. We don't really know. And maybe the Joker might be involved, even though the Joker is supposed to be killed by, yeah, man, it just, yeah. um Mork says, I wasn't as into Doom Patrol season 2. I have to finish it. Raymond says, dude, you told me to watch it. It must have jumped the shark. Are you talking about Titans or are you talking about um, Doom Patrol there, Raymond? And yes, Morks, you're right. Titans does suck. But we already knew this. I mean, I was kind of covering it more for the camp version and also all the dick jokes. But even that got tiring after a while. Yeah. I mean, it just really did. There's only so many dick jokes you can make it during an episode. And I think I kind of even went, farther than I should have. And by dick jokes, I mean capital D for Dick Grayson. Yeah, it's actually the Titans just became joyless, is what it became. It just became completely joyless. Raymond says, I love Doom Patrol. I think it's one of Brendan Fraser's, but yeah, it is Brendan Fraser's best work. And let's talk about Brendan Fraser. Dude packed on a lot of weight all of a sudden. I mean, I noticed it when he was in the movie. Oh God, the one with Don Cheadle that just came out. Fuck, now I'm blanking on it. It was on HBO Max. It hit theaters as well. But he was a gangster type, and Brendan Fraser had like packed on a lot of weight. I was like, holy fuck. And I guess that translated over to season 3 as well of Doom Patrol. And I was like, okay, Cliff's a bit chunkier than we've seen him before, but okay. I hope everything's okay with him. I mean, it happens. I know for a fact that shit like that happens. So no sudden move. Thank you, Raymond. Yes, no sudden move, which is a great movie, by the way. And all about the catalytic converter. Yeah, having the how the big 3 auto industry were trying to, and it's based on an actual story of the big 3 auto industry trying to strangle the catalytic converter before it ever makes its way out. They actually kept it from hitting the markets for about 20 years, for smog, to reduce smog and pollution and stuff like that. Yeah. It was a good movie, really good movie. Ed Solomon, by the way, was the one who did the screenplay on that one. Ed Solomon, of course, being one of the writers for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and, well, the Bill and Ted series. Him and Matheson, Richard Matheson's son. Richard Matheson being the great sci-fi author, you know, the Omega Man, which was also I Am Legend is really what the book was. So, mhm. But yeah, No Sudden Move was a really good movie. It's a slow burn, but it was worth it. And everyone was just great in it. Everyone was great in that. I don't think there was one bad actor or actress in that entire movie. But I'm glad I watched on HBO Max. Raymond says, did you talk about what the fuck is happening in the Matrix trailer? Briefly yesterday, Raymond, I talked about it, and I really don't know what the hell's going on. I know that what's his face, who played Dr. Manhattan in the HBO version of The Watchmen, is playing Morpheus, a younger version of Morpheus. But we also saw a younger version of Oracle in that trailer as well. But they still have an old Neo and old Trinity that are inserted in a new Matrix. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. And Neil Patrick Harris is Neo's therapist, which is odd. But I guess we'll all find out on December 22nd. That's when it comes out. Yeah. At least it's coming out to HBO Max again. Like I said, I'm after the whole drive-in debacle with Shang-Chi, I am done with that kind of shit. If I'm gonna do theaters again, I'm gonna have to find some people that I know, rent out a theater for $200, and then go and do it that way. If I can find like 10 people that I know that are vaccinated and are willing to go at a certain time, then I'll go to a theater. That's $20 a person, which is normal ticket prices anyway, and we can do it that way. Would I consider doing an online watch party? Um, Possibly, Raymond, but the thing with the online watch parties is, are you talking about doing it as a, for the channel here, or are you just talking about just doing one in general? Because I mean, with copyrighted material, you can't really do that on the channel unless they give you license and all that kind of shit like that, which I'm not big enough in order to do that as of yet. I would like to be, but yeah. But and then also watch parties are they're kind of hard to do now. I mean, I don't know if you can do watch parties with first run movies at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can do I know you can do it with Disney, and I think they only allow you to share with 2 people. That's it. Because I saw it with Black Widow since I had bought Black Widow, but I think everyone needs to buy into it. Yeah, I know, Joe. I find those boring though when people are just talking at the screen or talking about the screen, going, "Oh, the reaction videos." I find that to be the most fucking ridiculous thing I've ever seen on YouTube. Is just watching people watching someone watching a movie and having reactions to it. It boggles my mind. I know I'm old now at this point where I'm watching this shit and I'm going, who in the fuck is watching this? Why are they getting like millions of views of someone watching someone else watching a video and reacting to it? It just it boggles my mind. It really does. And like I said, I know I'm old at this point because I just don't get that shit. Yeah, I really don't. See, the sun's coming across my chest now. See, that's what I'm talking about. Pro wrestling are also popular, where people are watching pro wrestling matches, and then that seems kind of odd. So, for me, what I watch on YouTube, rarely when I watch it, it's pretty much stuff that I can learn from. I guess is what it is. So, like Adam Savage, he has tested where he's building props and stuff like that, and I actually learned different techniques of what he's doing when he's building this stuff. So every now and then I'll watch that. But the one I've kind of gotten into, which has kind of sucked me in, is called the lock picking lawyer. Um, and the lock picking lawyer is literally that. It's a guy who has knowledge of picking locks, and he's a lawyer. And he gets sent all these different locks, and then he shows you how he picks them. And he always goes to someone always sends him a pick proof lock, and he goes, yeah, he goes, this is really not pick proof, because he does it like 2 seconds and he breaks right through it. So that's pretty much what I've been watching if I watch YouTube. Raymond says, because of COVID we were desperate to connect to other humans. It's dark. Well, yeah, I know it's dark in other places east of here. Joker says found it. You talking about the lockpicking lawyer, or what were you looking at? Mork says new Lucifer season in Netflix so far the same crapo as season 5. Yeah. Well, that's no surprise there, really. Raymond says, his Mark One Iron Man suit was awesome. Yeah, I liked his Mark One suit. His Mark One Iron Man suit was kind of cool, and he was also he unveiled it here in San Jose, which is south of San Francisco. So it's about 40 miles south of San Francisco, San Jose, and they had a convention, a cosplay convention, I guess it was, and that's where he did it because he's in the Bay Area. He's in the San Francisco Bay Area. So yeah. I was thinking about buying his set too, Raymond. The lockpicking lawyer set. I've seen his sets that he has. I can see it from here. I bought a clear lock that comes with a lockpick set, and all that stuff to just kind of have fun with it. It's one of those things I like to tinker with every now and then. Not that I'm going to go out and pick locks or anything like that, as far as you know. And yeah, I mean, like my front door is a key fob, right? Kind of thing. And I got locked out one day because it's an automatic door closer, all this stuff. Anyway, the door was closing and I grabbed the wrong set of keys. I grabbed my car keys instead of my house keys. And I just as the door was closed, I'm like, no shit, and it collects. So called a locksmith, set the locksmith out there. He comes in and literally all he does is he goes, you sure there's no deadbolt? I'm like, no, the deadbolt only works from the inside. That's it. You can't do it from the outside. So he puts this little pad. It's literally about as big as my hand, this pad. He stuffs it in right underneath the lock itself for the key fob area. And then he has a little a squeezy thing that he just starts pumping air into it. And so it starts pumping up the pad and it pops the door open. That's literally all it takes to get in. And I was like, holy shit, that's the most insecure door I've ever seen. Unsecure. Unsecure, insecure. Insecure is for people, unsecure is for security. There you go. Maybe it might be an insecure door. Maybe it feels, unworthy of being a door. I don't know, but yeah. Raymond says, nah, it's a hobby. We get it. I used to try and hack my Wi-Fi password to test my. Oh, wow. Yeah, I actually, my Disney Plus account for some reason was saying that it doesn't. All of a sudden on Friday, I'm just trying to access Disney Plus, and it says they don't show in my region. And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You don't show in the San Francisco Bay Area? What the fuck?" So I called them up, and literally an hour on the phone with them to find out why they finally had to go through my IP address and verify my IP address and add it in order to get my app to work again. Stupidest thing ever. I have no VPN because I run it through a. Yeah, they thought it was a VPN as well, but it's not. This is just a flat out Amazon Fire Cube that I run it through. So there's no VPN on it, even though I could put a VPN on it if I really wanted to. But honestly, I don't want to go through that hassle. Quite honestly, if I ever want to use VPNs and all that stuff, I just go through my computer and I have a big enough screen here. So my setup that I have here that I'm actually doing this through with you guys is a laptop, which is where my camera is coming from. And then behind that laptop is a big, roughly big, I think it's a 32-inch screen, something like that, so that I can actually look up a little bit and see you guys instead of always staring down a little bit. That's why you see my eyes bounce all over the place now when I'm doing this stuff, because sometimes I can't quite see everything in the chat because a corner of my laptop blocks it out because I can't get the screen to go up high enough. And if I bring it up too high anyway, that I'm looking up here. So yeah. I had someone in the chat at one point, or not the chat, but one of the comments section was saying that, I need to look more at the camera right here at you guys. And so that's what I've been doing lately. I now look at the whole of the camera, and does that unnerve you guys if I just kind of stare and don't blink at all for a little while? Does that work? Is it creepy enough? Okay. Yeah, I know. Yes, I do have the 65, not the 69-inch, 65. Yeah. I know it was creepy, wasn't it, Raymond? That's why I did it. That'll be the only time I do it, maybe. Yes, look at the camera and wink from time to time. Do one of those. There's going to be a screenshot of that from probably Movie Finobi or, Pen or something like that at some point that's going to haunt me during my lifetime. I already know the one where she had me put on the R2D2 hat there has been making the rounds someplace. She took a still of that one. It's that stare of, I stare into your soul. Just in time for Halloween, huh? Yeah. I guess supposedly there's a look that I give that, when I hear something really absurd that pissed me off at the same time, and I've never seen the face because no one's ever taken a picture of it, but I guess it flashes across my face and someone's like, "Holy fuck, what kind of face?" I've heard it on more than one occasion from somebody. They're like, "What fucking face is that?" Because it's frightening. So I know those faces come out. My face is very expressive. It does happen. Um, yeah, for animation class and stuff like that, we had to do expressions in front of you basically do expressions in front of the camera in order to facial expressions, I should say, to kind of animate those to see if you can animate them and things like that. So you do frustration, you do, anger, happy, sad, all that kind of stuff, and then you try and animate it. Sometimes you try and draw it. Sometimes you try and recreate it on a 3D model, that kind of thing. And people, well, one, they would laugh at the shit that I would do, and then they were like, "You know what? Can I have those videos?" Because yeah, they really want to have the expressiveness of it. Uh, Mark says has to be when either me or Apple Crow do one of our top tier jokes. No, that's actually that look of blankness is what that is, Marks. It's see, that's when your jokes or Apple Crow's jokes land. The ones that need to be workshop more. That's there you go. Can I cry on command? No, I can't. That's the one thing I can't do. uh, but I can get a pissed off look on my face. I think it's 0 to 0.5 milliseconds. Supposedly that's what, I've heard. Wow, this kind of just evolved completely, didn't it? I mean, Joe's out there. He's watching Why the Last Man right now. He's kind of forgotten all about us. So we can talk shit about Joe now. Oh, man. What else is coming out? Yeah, we got Why the Last Man. We've got Star Wars Visions, of course, coming out next week. Not this week, but next week. And yes, I will be covering that. Um, you saw Nobody? Tenet wasn't as good as everyone made it out to be. Although I'm hearing Malignant, the new James Wan movie, everyone's saying that it's a comedy. That's like a horror comedy. They say it just gets really fucking wacky. And now I'm kind of like, well, do I want to watch it? Do I not want to watch it? And everyone, I mean, there's been shitloads of people on Twitter that are just saying it's the funniest movie of the year. And now I'm kind of intrigued to see what kind of comedy it is, you know? Yes, I have seen the new PS5 game trailer. I did talk about them yesterday briefly, Raymond. So I talked about Spider-Man 2, the game, Wolverine, and Knights of the Old Republic, the remake of Knights of the Old Republic. Those are the 3 I talked about. And again, since I don't have a PS5, I'm not buying any games until I can get my hands on a PS5. So, and I've heard now, what is it? Thursday and Fridays are the best time to pick up a PS5. What is it? Walmart restocks. No, it's Best Buy restocks on a Friday, and Walmart and Target at Thursdays is what they are. Mark says, if you say it's good, I'll watch it because I saw it on HBO Max. I don't even know what it was about. Are you talking about Tenant? Tenant, I didn't really like. Yeah. So Raymond, this is all I've gleaned off of those PS5 alerts systems. This is what I've read. So it's not gospels, but I haven't tried it as of yet. Oh, Malignant. Okay. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, either myself, Marks. But this is what I've been hearing, or what I've been reading off of Twitter. Lots of people have just been they're just saying it's hilarious. Other people are saying that it's horrible, that it's just shit. So it can go either way. Granted, there's been movies that have been just complete and total shit that I find funny because they're so bad. And then vice versa. There's been movies that are so bad that, of course, everyone says they're shit. And everyone else is like, oh my God, it's the greatest movie ever. And it's like, no, this is actually a really shitty movie. Mark says, Tenant, I like the concept and the execution. The story is a bit whack. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. Yeah, I haven't seen Nobody as of yet. Is it free yet, or on HBO Max or anything like that? That's pretty much the only thing I'm not gonna pay to see it. I figure I've already paying for streaming services now at this point. Like Dennis Villeneuve's Dune. Uh I keep hearing there's 2 different camps. Again, there are people that are going, "Oh my god, it's the best movie ever." And then there are people that are like, "It's very pretty, but it's fucking empty of any kind of story whatsoever." And literally it's polarizing that way on Dune. And I'm fairly sure I'm going to fall into the second camp because that's how Blade Runner 2049 was for me, was just it was pretty, but it was devoid of any fucking story whatsoever. I have not watched the Rick and Morty finale, Raymond, because Adult Swim, even though it's supposed to be free, they try and get you to do a service provider login in order to watch it. So I'm waiting until it becomes free. So I'm usually a couple of weeks behind on that one. But you can spoil away if you want to. I know that they split up. Raymond says, well, Dune is a very dense book, so they will release it. Yeah, that's if the first book, or so supposedly he filmed the first half of the book, and there are a lot of people that are saying that the second half's never going to get made because the first half is so boring. All he did was supposedly the prologue. That's all the 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie is. It's just prologue and doesn't get into any of the story whatsoever. So, yeah. Mark says nobody is $6 at Amazon, YouTube, and Voodoo. Oh, okay. Yeah. Has Doc from Back to the Future. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, even $6, I can wait till it comes out on whatever streaming service it's going to come out on for free. It really didn't compel me enough to go and watch it. and I mean, people said it was amazing because they weren't expecting to be good at all. So yeah, I can wait on it. Applecrow says, "Have any of you seen the 1977 Japanese movie House?" I have not. I've seen the William Catt version of House from 1983, I believe it was, but no, I have not seen the 1977 Japanese movie House. The William Catt House was actually not bad. That was a good movie. The sequel's not so much. And Applecrow, we were just talking about you earlier. Maybe that's why you came in. You actually, you and Morks actually reversed roles. Morks came in early, and you only showed up now. Well, I think we said your name 3 times, and you finally popped up. But yeah, Morks has been here. Philip A. Demick says House 2 is one of my faves. Really? The first one was so much better, though. The first movie was actually really good. And granted, I don't remember much of House 2. I remember I saw it. I remember I kept seeing it on HBO. It was on heavy rotation on HBO, but I don't remember much of it, which means, yeah, it didn't make that much of an impression. Ooh, sorry, a little gurgle there. Applecrow says they aren't related other than taking place in houses. Okay. So you mean it's kind of like it's not related to like Home Alone either? That takes place in a house. I'm sorry. The Japanese version is like the Argento made a live action anime. Oh, holy shit. No, thanks. Yeah. What about NYC, Joe Greer? New York City, get a rope. I remember the old Pace Picante commercials. Okay, let me spoil nobody. Everybody dies. Cool. All right. That's a good movie, actually, when everyone dies. It's kind of like Miracle Mile, you know? Miracle Mile has probably got to be one of the most fucking depressing movies. Anthony Edwards is in it and Mara Winningham. And yeah, it's nuclear war is getting ready to happen and all that shit, and it ends with pretty much everyone dies at the end. So yeah, great movie though. I mean, fucking fantastic. I think it was 1988 was that movie. Oh, Home Alone 2, New York City. Oh, that's right, Lost in New York. We don't speak about that because of a certain someone who's in that movie who shouldn't be. Applecrow says, "See, Morks, you should have said who lives to the end. Nobody." Uh, uh, see my reaction to Applecrow's joke there, Morks. That's what that was. That's what that facial expression is. Just complete and total blandness. Yep, I did it, Morks. I had to go for the bland joke face. Yes. Oh wow. Applecrow, are you giving like bad joke lessons off on the side? Is that what's going on? Are you just giving them out for free to people in the chat? Is that what's happening? That's what it feels like anyway. I mean, just wondering. Because if any of you are paying for those jokes, oof, I got a bridge to sell you over here in the West Coast, and it's orange. Your Apple Crow's top student works. That's fucking depressing. I'm sorry. Oh man. Yeah, I know. I did tell you to workshop. That's my fault on that one. Man. See, so with Shang-Chi coming out in theaters, it means that in making this much money that it did, um, I'm disappointed that Eternals is now going to come out only in theaters. Um, and Spider-Man No Way Home is only going to come out in theaters as well. Which means I have to fucking spend money in order to rent out an entire theater and all that shit. So yeah, I'm sorry. I have no faith in the human race anymore. So I don't want to be in a theater with other people that I don't know. I really don't. And there's only one drive-in here, so the one drive-in sucks balls. Balls, I'm telling you. Yeah. Why not go to a Tuesday showing at noon? I work Tuesdays at noon, Mark, so kind of hard for me to do that. Philip A. Demick says House 2 has John Ratzenberger going, there it is. Looks like you got yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. Applecrow says, I really want to see Dune in IMAX, but humanity. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing with all of this. You want people to actually be their best, especially during a pandemic. And yet we got people acting really, really shitty during this whole thing. And that's the reason why we can't have nice things. We can't go to a fucking movie theater in peace because you got someone who most likely has COVID sitting right behind you, coughing on you while eating that large bag of popcorn. So, yeah. Yeah, I can scare up, I think, 10 people in order to go. It's just if they're willing to go. That's the whole thing. Therein lies the rub. And if they all want to go at the same time that I want to go. And if they're willing to cough up $20 a person. Anyway. I digress. I'm going to let you guys go because I've run out of material. Unlike Applecrow and Morks, which ran out of material a long time ago, but they just keep going. What else do I have going on this week? Well, from the looks of things, looks like tomorrow I'm going to be doing Why the Last Man. At least I know the first 3 episodes have dropped. So if all 3 episodes have dropped, I'm going to probably combine them all into one. Then Tuesday will be Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. I'm gonna have to really think about that one. I'll come up with something. Wednesday will be What If. Thursday I'll be off, and Friday I'll be off. Saturday will be another episode of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any of the genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. And then, of course, Sunday is going to be spoiler alert. You think I should do Kate for Is It Worth My Time? I don't know, man. It's not genre enough. It really isn't. It really is John Wick meets DOA is really what it makes. That's what it is. It's John Wick meets DOA. Where is Why streaming? It's on FX on Hulu. Yeah, so that's the only place it's going to be. It's got a huge cast, honestly. It's got Diane Ladd is playing Diane Ladd, Elizabeth Shue, Fuck, I'm trying to remember who else is in it. There's actually quite a few names in it. So am looking forward to this. It's been shot. I mean, it was shopped all over the place. It literally had landed on Amazon, on Netflix, and they all dropped it at one point in time or another. Mork says, why streaming should be the question. That one didn't even get a reaction, Morks, because that was so bad. That was like reaching for a reach of a joke. And yeah. Only the person that was doing it had no arms. Let's see. There you go. And on that note, thank you everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in this wacky video. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible. But one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I post it up every week. I should be changing it out tomorrow, hopefully, or maybe even tonight. I don't know, depending on how things go. Also, it's got all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages here, like my YouTube channel page, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. So with that said, that was kind of weird. Something just sounded like a drop behind the refrigerator. I don't know why. Thanks everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Why the Last Man from what it looks like. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that the person who actually kills Kate is. I'll leave you alone on that one, Morks. Anyway, thanks. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and stay safe out there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night, and see you tomorrow.